This is part 2 of a video series in which I'm playing through Lovecraftesque 2nd edition using the new solo rules, so you might want to go back and watch the first one if you haven't already. So for solo play, I will be using mystery cards just like in normal play, but I've divided them into 2 decks. So you separate out the clue cards, which is the bigger pile here, and the special cards, which is the smaller one, and you get 2 clue cards and 1 special card. So this just guarantees that you're going to get some good clue fodder, but also something interesting that can mix things up a bit. So I draw the top 2 from here, and I get strange construction and strange markings, along with a special card, which is an attack. That's quite good for my gang-based setting, potentially. And I think I'm not going to use my attack card straight away. I would like to create something using strange construction. I think that feels very apt to my setting. So for my first scene, I've drawn 3 cards, but the one I want to use is strange construction. And what this has made me think of is the construction that people are trying to do, the industrial construction in and amongst the slums of Sheffield. So in my scene, what's my character's name? In my scene, Paul Blomfield is on his way to work. He's going to do some sort of a job with the Red Silks. But he is walking through an area of the slums, and he sees that some of the slums have been cordoned off. There's scaffolding, there are sheets, and there are workmen coming and going. And it looks like this is no real surprise. We know that there are people like Ethel, what do they call her? Ethel Steeple, who have designs on the slums and who want to tear things down and build their own stuff. So that's what is happening here, is he's seeing that going on. And that's only just started, really. And yet, outside the front, in the street almost, there is this weird black obelisk. It is maybe twice the height of a person. It is made of some unidentifiable black stone, and it tapers to a point, and it is kind of rounded, but on the sides it has two sides that come to a sharp point. Along the length of this are grooves, these kind of slash marks cut into it, fairly deep. And there are lots of them, and they're arranged in a pattern that does not look like it's random. And I think Paul stops and he looks at this thing because it's so strange and so out of place. I think that it is genuinely alien looking. It looks slick, it looks smooth, it looks like a kind of a razor blade sticking out amongst, and it's quite, perfectly formed in a lot of ways compared to the mess around it. And he just stops and stares at it before walking on to his job. So that's my strange construction. And I also need to do what is usual for Lovecraftesque. You do the character's fears and rationalizations, and I think as he is walking along to this job, he can't forget about the obelisk. He can't stop thinking about, what was that? Why was it there? It didn't have any words on it. It's clearly not like a memorial or something, and it appeared overnight. It really makes him feel uncomfortable. Paul is thinking to himself, it just sits uncomfortably in the pit of his stomach, and he doesn't feel good about it at all. At the same time, it is just a piece of stone. He thinks this is a very strange thing that whoever put that there, presumably whoever it is that owns that building site, he thinks is a bit weird and maybe has a bit too much money. People with too much money, they do strange things, and so he dismisses it in his mind, but it keeps nagging at him. And that is the end of my scene. After each scene in Lovecraftesque, you have to leap to conclusions about what the scene meant, and you still do that even in solo play, because it helps to keep the story coherent. So, in my mind, I am thinking this obelisk has been built by the industrialist Ethel Steele. She's put it there. It's kind of like those little devices that people put outside shops to drive teenagers away, that put out the ultrasonic sound that only teenagers can hear, so I'm told. I think this is a bit like that. It's kind of like a magical slum clearing device. It will make the slums uncomfortable, like physically and mentally uncomfortable, psychologically uncomfortable for the slum dwellers to remain, and it will drive them out, and we'll end up with the slums being almost kind of clearing themselves so that Ethel can buy them up really cheaply. I have to, as well as saying who is it, so the in this case the bad person is Ethel, and the thing she's using is the obelisk. She's using it to create to clear the slums. Fine. What will be the outcome? What will happen if she's left to her own devices? I think these things are a bit more than just slum clearing. I think they're kind of like a propaganda generation type of thing. And I think that once she has succeeded in clearing the slums and building on them, the people who live and work there will have their humanity kind of drained out of them, and they'll become soulless autonoma, just working to build Ethel's vision of the future. So that's the horror that I'm working towards at the moment, but we'll see what other cards I get. Because now that I have had my first scene, I lose this card that I've already used, Strange Construction, and I can, if I want to, I can discard one of these cards as well. I think I'm going to do that, to be honest. I feel like Strange Markings is almost too good a fit with what I've done so far. I could obviously do more carvings and things similar to what I've done on the obelisk, but it's a bit boring. So I think I'm going to keep Attack, because I definitely feel like that's going to be useful at some point. But I discard Strange Markings, and that means I'm going to draw 2 replacements. So 1, 2, and I've got Technology, which feels like a great fit for industrial stuff. And I've got Strange Writings, and that doesn't immediately conjure up any ideas, so I'll probably, in my next scene, I might do something using technology. Lovecraftesque is, as I'm recording this, is on Backerkit crowdfunding. We are raising money for a new edition of the game with all these lovely cards that you've seen, and it's going to be a box set. It will include this solo play mode that I'm playing at the moment. So if you are watching this before, if you're watching this on the 9th of November 2023 or earlier, I urge you to head on over to Backerkit and pledge to the game and help make it the best it can be. Thank you.